What's up guys, Ted from Immersion here, and I have a review of a newer product. It's not exactly brand new, I just was finally able to get a hold of one. This is the official Dungeons & Dragons Adventure Grid. So, I'll read you the back here. Strategy by design. Good for dungeon and wilderness encounters alike. This sturdy double-sided grid play surface is ideal for your D&D campaign, when your D&D campaign gets tactical. The D&D Adventure Grid also folds up for easy transport and storage and can be used with both wet and dry erase pens interchangeably. Pens and miniatures not included. So, we'll go ahead and open this and take a look. You guys see that I've got a battle mat right here, a ChessX battle mat. Everybody seems to have those, but let's see what this official first-party D&D Adventure Grid is like. So, we have, looks like this is made potentially by Gale Force 9? No, it's not. It just has an insert with Gale Force 9 cards and Whiz Kids minis here on the inside. This is sort of your faux cover, if you will. Because essentially, if you had that still on and put that in here, it makes it like a book, right? It looks sort of like a book. And I've got my copy of the monster manual right here. So it is pretty much the exact same height and almost the same width as the monster manual. But take it out, and I'll bring this in. I'll bring this in closer to the table in just a sec. But it is, as you can see, it is quite thick. Rather than just your typical battle mat, which is a mat. So this, if we keep unfolding, looks like it's 3 by 3, 2 by 3. So this side is your wilderness encounter side, and this side is your dungeon encounter side. So we can lay this out flat on the table. We'll come around here, and I will show you guys what it looks like. Get down here on the mat itself. Move some of this stuff to get in a little bit closer. But you can see that it is relatively flat. You can see there's the seam right there in the mat, but it folds out relatively flat. I mean, here's a big giant mini, and here's your regular size mini right on the map here. So it looks like, as far as grids go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25 wide, and looks to be close to that frosting. 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 21-ish. Also, maybe I missed one in there. So this again is the wilderness side. I can bring this in a little bit closer to the camera so you guys can get a good look at it. So you can see it's kind of got this, I don't know if that'll be washed out by the light, but it's got a very green motif, as far as the inside is the kind of gray tiles of the dungeon. And then again, just take this, fold it, and now we're ready to transport. And again, as you can see, it is fairly thick. This is, best thing I can use to describe this is probably like your old board games that you'd have grown up. To give you a comparison, if you want something more close to what you may have at home, a thickness of the board is about as thick as the front cover or back cover of like the Monster Manual or the Dungeon Master's Guide. So it is a sturdy, sturdy feeling screen. I happen to have a wet and a dry erase marker, So we can go ahead and write out with the wet marker and the dry marker. So you can see wet and dry. Dry right off, wet still on there. Clean. Okay, so let's talk price. $24.95. Is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, personally, for $24, you can get a battle mat at like this big battle mat you see in front of me. I think this was about $25, and this is arguably double the size of this one. It is a mat, so it is a thinner material, so that's nice if you have only limited height to play in. You know, that's thinner material. But when you try to transport it, you got to roll it up, and you have a big long tube of essentially vinyl canvas that you're using to play on. So you have to carry this tube, and the tube can get bent or cut or things like that. And this kind of material that this is made out of, this glossy material, seems like it will. You don't have to have the issue of you forget to accidentally erase something. Like you leave stuff on a battle mat for too long, sometimes it permanently stains the mat, and there's nothing you can do about it. Typically the blues and the purples and the greens tend to stain the mats permanently. I don't think that would be an issue with this. You also another benefit in favor of this is it's got the dungeon and kind of the wilderness tiles already, so you don't have to worry about trying to either do terrain or maybe color things. I mean, with this as your base, this dungeon base, you could put your Dwarven Forge or your 3D terrain tiles on top of this, and you'd still have the nice base worked stone floor. You wouldn't have to worry about, something underneath. So that is a benefit. The grassy side, I'm not like a huge fan of, because I feel like it's pretty muted, because you only really get the green of the grass around the outside. The inside is fairly light, almost to a white color. They're like a very, very pale green. Again, if you're only carrying like a messenger bag or a backpack, tossing it in with your book and your player's handbook, your monster manual, or dungeon master's guide, this will fit very nicely in there, making it easy to transport, or potentially easier to transport than one of these mats. Especially if you're flying or something like that, you don't have to worry about carrying a big old tube. Plus, these things, they do wrinkle pretty easily, and it takes a while without, potentially, at least in my experience, maybe I've been doing it wrong, but it takes a while for you to get the wrinkles out. So if somebody doesn't roll it right, somebody folds it, crinkles it, bends your battle mat, it's going to have these wrinkles and these creases in it, and it's going to drive, at least, I can't promise it'll drive you crazy, but it drives me crazy when that happens. And I spend, hours trying to flatten it out with books, and I've heard some people go as far as to use like a towel and an iron to try to iron out any of the wrinkles. Eventually they just work their way out over time, but you're not going to have that issue with this, although you may have the issue of the, of the two halves of the mat separating. But, the benefit is you could just buy another one of these, and two of these side by side is a fairly decent sized map. So, but does it warrant, the quality of like the cardboard stock that it's on is probably a large contributing factor to the $24.95 price tag. I guess it's up to you guys. You can, if you're cost savvy, bang for your buck, you're going to get more out of the battle mat, I think. And this is the, whatever this is, like the mega mat, not the mega mat, it's the middle range. There's 3 different sizes. The smallest Chessex size map is, I think, even cheaper. I think it's like $15. So you'll probably get more mat for your money by ordering one of those on Amazon or otherwise. But this is an official D&D product, if that matters at all to you. This should be available on Amazon, I think, now, as well as your friendly local game stores. But again, if you're going to either of those places, you can probably get one of these Chessex mats too. Chessex mats are typically designed for wet erase markers. So for those of you who remember overhead projectors, these are typically what the teachers used to write on them, so they wouldn't rub off as they were writing. This is designed to work with wet or dry. So dry erase markers are things I feel like a lot of us are more familiar with, and a lot of people have easier access to getting. Wet erase markers, in my opinion, are not something you can easily find anywhere you can go. I mean, you go to an office supply store or order them online, you can get them. But like, you can go to any store pretty much and find a dry erase marker. So that's a little bit of a benefit as well. So let me know, guys. Did you pick up the official D&D Adventure Grid? If you did, if you didn't, do you want to? This video help you decide one way or another. Or are you going to stick with your battle mat? Or maybe you just do Theater of the Mind and this isn't even important to you at all. But if you did pick up one of the battle mats, let me know what you think. Let me know how it's holding up through play and travel to and from your gaming sessions. And if you feel like you spent money, it was money well spent. I'm curious. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.